Hello everyone, welcome to my new vlog. Guess what I'm doing? I'm preparing for Christmas fairs. I've got some stuff to go through. Here's a little box of things that I need to paint. Different Santas, foxes and Christmas soldiers. Soldiers are going to have movable arms. I use a piece of garden wire for that. So I paint my foxes and Santas with diluted acrylic colors, which is a very satisfying and meditative process. Then I just use some beeswax polish to seal the paint. I think the colors really pop after that. I also have some pendants that I need to hang on a rope. Here's a little beast that I made. Then I decided to experiment with simpler relief or flat ornaments, mostly little horses and foxes. I should just make a reusable pattern really, but very often I simply draw straight on wood. I suppose this way every fox is going to be slightly different. Actually, this is what I love about handcrafted things. They're all unique in some way. You can't really make the same thing twice. So I've drawn my fox, cut it out and rounded the edges with a knife. Now it's time to paint it, mostly with orange of course, but I also added some white and brown for the legs. And then it's a fun part, I added some white details. Just a little whimsical project that I enjoyed. And by the way, this is slimewood, which is our UK version of basswood. Very nice to carve, very smooth, very beautiful and soft. This is what I use for my foxes, very tight grain, very smooth, kind of makes me think of marble, but thankfully it's not as hard. I use it to make little horse decorations too. I draw the shape on wood, then I use a bandsaw to cut it out. And don't worry, my hands are safe here, I always keep them away from the blade. The bandsaw really helps to speed up the process. I follow the outline and here it is. It's not everything of course, I still need to carve it just like I did with the fox, removing the sharp edges all around it, defining the tail and making it overall look nice and smooth. And here's what it looks like as a completed ornament. Horses are done, but preparations continue. More Santas are being painted and given some character. And you know what's the most useful tool in all this preparation? This. No, not for that. By the way, do you like my new hair color? For this. It would take ages if I let my figurines dry naturally, so my fox is getting some warm air to ruffle her fur. Then a new Santa is going to have an orangey and red hat. I just love how the colors are mixing together. I'm going to dry his hat too. You know, when you do handcraft, you learn to appreciate anything that makes your life a little bit easier. I'm already engaging in a very slow process, so I'm glad I can make it a bit quicker. Now that the main paint of my fox is dry, I add some decorative elements, some fun little red and white dots. I think they make her look quite cute. And then, since it's a Christmas tree decoration, I add an ice screw using pliers and I hang it on a piece of rope. And here it is, a little fox is ready to decorate some tree. And Santas too. Speaking of Santas, what do you think about this guy? I feel like he won't be interested in giving you any presents. He would be like, why bother? Why care about this at all? It's not important. Let's think about the meaning of life. Let's talk about the hardships of being a human, especially a wooden human. And it's actually an amazing day today because I got a parcel. Some wood. Are you even a real wood carver if you haven't used your favorite knife in a way you're not supposed to? Okay, so what do we have here? It's always so exciting, even though I know what I've ordered. It's like opening a Christmas present. Some smaller pieces of lime for small projects. Then I have a bigger one, just in case I would need to carve something on a larger scale. Thinner pieces like the ones I used for my fox and horses. I love having wood already cut to different thickness, so I wouldn't need to do it myself. So that's my big box of lime. That's not the only type of wood I use, of course. Here's a little squirrel that I made recently out of sapele. It has some crazy wavy grain, which was a bit challenging to carve, but I like the color. It's very squirrel-like. And I like the unusual features that you can find in every unique piece of wood. Here's the original piece of sapele. You can see the way grain is going, so you need to be aware of it when you're carving. By the way, sapele is often classified as mahogany. I feel like people do that a lot. They call any reddish wood mahogany. I know sapele is often used as a substitute. However, here's Honduras mahogany, the real one. You can see that it looks different. I would say it's also softer. And you can sand it to a beautiful smooth surface. For example, here's me carving a little heart. I say when in doubt and when you want to carve something small, a heart is a good choice. I sanded it and covered it with some oil, and I can make a little pendant out of it. This is a different piece of what is supposed to be mahogany. The seller has sworn to me that this is a very rare, genuine kind, something that I wouldn't find in this country anymore because it's not legal to import. But just look how soft it is. If anyone recognizes this type of wood, let me know in the comments. And by the way, have you tried carving mahogany at all? Or do you want to try? This is a very simple little turtle that I carved out of this soft mahogany. You can see that it reacts to the ebonizing solution quite well. I'm talking about the solution made out of steel wool and vinegar that turns some types of wood black.
Guys, breaking news. Something amazing has happened. So in the UK, we don't have much choice when it comes to carving knives. We basically have just 3 brands: FlexCut, Beavercraft and Swedish Mora knives. They're all decent in their own way, but I've always wanted to try something new, something that other woodcarvers use from the US, for example. And I've heard a lot about OCC tools, but we don't have them here in the UK, of course, so I had to order them from the US. And the first company just cancelled my order because they couldn't figure out how to send it here. The second company that I found did. They sent it to me. The postage was quite pricey, but I expected that. And the thing is, my parcel was held in UK customs for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I was fully prepared to never get it, but the miracle has happened and it's here. So let's open it.
I could say Christmas came early, but I really want some more presents. Santa, are you listening? Presents are for vain people. Okay, Santa, no point talking to you. Let's take a look at the knives. Oh, look at the way they are packaged. Really nice. And so I got 2 knives because God knows when I'm gonna have another opportunity like that. One is a bigger knife and a smaller detail knife. Let's open them and test them. They have this original OCC Tools logo, and I know that another company has bought them. I think it's called Krishak Carving Tools, something like that, but they said that they would keep the original way of making tools, so nothing will change from what I know. But anyway, what I got still has OCC Tools logo. And so this is a smaller knife. Let's take a look at the bigger one. So this got a bigger handle, maybe a bit too big for my hand, but we'll see how it goes. I can use it as a roughing out knife. So I grabbed a scrap piece of basswood and let's test it. Ooh, I actually like what I'm seeing and feeling. This is very nice, it goes really well. And there is some sort of power behind it. So I can see that the blade is a little bit thicker than, say, FlexCut, but it still feels really well. Wow, that is amazing. Let's take a look at the bigger knife. Ooh, yes. I love it. It's nice and sharp and goes really smooth. Ooh. And actually the big handle doesn't bother me much. It does feel quite nice holding it. Right, I'm really happy after this first initial test. I think the handles are, I don't know, is it black walnut? Kind of reminds me of one. Very nice knives. I would highly recommend them if you can get them. I decided to test my new knife a bit more. After all, one more Santa is not gonna hurt. The more, the merrier. More Santas mean more presents, right? I hope so. So I started with defining the nose and the eye area. I used different types of cuts, the slicing cut, push cut, pull cut, and so on. The knife worked beautifully. I would say that it's a bit smaller than your usual detail knife, so it's perfect for little whittles like this. And this is not sponsored, I bought it with my own money and I just loved it. So I'm giving my Santa a moustache and a beard, and the only thing that I would use beside the knife is a small gouge for beard texture. And here it is. I hope you liked my little vlog where I showed you what I'm up to these days, and I hope to see you again.